Hey everyone. I guess it helps if I bring you guys over so you can see me. Welcome in. Welcome to another Tuesday edition over here. I'm Tammy. I'm the Siberian Wind. I'm glad you guys are here. I see Judy and Kathy and Donnell in the chat. Let me grab my microphone so you guys can hear me all night. That is the one thing I forgot to do. All right. So now we have a microphone. How is everyone doing tonight? I do have Nightbot up and running. So if you have a YouTube channel and you want to do exclamation selfie, you absolutely can do that. And YouTube will, or Nightbot will give a link to everybody so everybody can see your channel, or yeah, can click a link to your channel. Donnell says that she can't stay. Just wanted to pop in, give my thumbs up, love hugs, and say hi. I'll catch you replay later. Awesome. Yeah, you're gonna miss the fun. So yeah, it's, guys, can you believe it is just over a week away to Thanksgiving? Can you believe it? Can you absolutely believe it? I barely can believe it. Barely can believe it. There is Kathy's channel link, guys. So if you guys have not checked out Kathy from My Hobby Home, she'll be over here on Thursday night. But you can also go check her out now with her link. She is My Hobby Home. And in case you guys are wondering, I do have my book back. I sent it off to get it spiral bound. So I have my Celebrate with Quilts book, and it is now spiral bound. So I can now lay everything flat and get to everything. So yeah, we will be digging back into this Thursday night. I've got a little bit more done than what I had done the other day, but not by much. Not by much. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. So if you guys are here, if you will drop a comment in the chat, let me know you are here. If you're not able to chat, then you do need to subscribe, and it'll take about 5 minutes after you hit that subscribe button before you can chat. Bear with me. The husband and dog are doing a dancing act right now, moving my batting out into the hallway. Welcome in, Susan. She says, hi, Tammy and everyone in chat. The binding did not cost a whole lot. They charged me less than $5 to cut the binding off and to spiral bind it. With that being said, I'm sure that another location will not have the problems that I had with mine. We actually had an issue with a couple of the pages. So when you were looking at a book, if you were wanting to have it spiral bound, as we all probably need to do with half of our quilting book stash, one husband and dog, yes. One husband and dog. They are both out of the room, and I can have the room to myself again. But my 2 rolls of batting came in while I was in Missouri, and I have not gotten them into the closet yet. So yeah. So when you go to have a book bound, if you have never had this done, this is the second book that I have had done. I do not see my other one. It is probably in my closet with my project. It was my Dear Jane book. Good question, Kathy. I'm about to get there. So when they go to cut the binding off, if you will look at your book, if you are able, welcome in, Catherine, from Rose Garland Creations. Thank you. She's from Tasmania, Australia. Oh, no. Oh, Nightbot got you. Nightbot said, stop spamming emotes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, come back in. Come back in. Nightbot just gives you a timeout. I don't remember how long. But it shouldn't be that long. Welcome in, Charlotte. Glad you are here. Been a while since you've made it to Tuesday night, so I'm glad to see you. Susan says that she's done no sewing since last week. Spent the weekend helping daughter move across the state. Got home yesterday afternoon. Yeah, Nightbot's a mean little person. It's all computer animated, so, but, you know, Nightbot can be mean. Welcome in, Laura. Welcome. All right, so if you are going to take a book to be bound, okay, so this book, because it's already bound, it's a little bit harder to show Let me grab another book. And I'll show you guys what you guys need to know. Let's see. I'm going to grab 2 different books. Yeah. Okay. 2 different books. These are just random books off my sewing shelf. I could eventually do a list of all the books that I own. But we won't. We won't do it tonight. All right. I'm going to bring you guys over to the machine so I can show you up close and personal. Okay. So when you are looking at the binding of your book, this is the binding edge of the book. This is where it is sealed. When you go to open that book, if you can open it, let's see, there we go. If you can open it to where it is just, literally just a little bitty edge, when you go to have them cut it, talk to whoever's going to be doing it and make sure they know to cut it as close as possible. Some books won't do that. Some will, okay? That one would cut very, very close, and that will help with keeping your instructions. Oh, this is a perfect one. Okay. So this is a iron-on quilt labels book, kind of like magazine style. So this one is a lot harder to open all the way to the binding. So when they go to cut, they are trying to cut all of that glue. They need to cut all of that glue away. With that being said, this is the problem that I had with Celebrate with Quilts, and I told them how I wanted them to fix it. But this front cover page is attached to the very first page, and it is attached a good distance. So what they will likely do, if you don't tell them otherwise, is they will cut all of this off. So instead of just cutting the littlest little bit, the very, very little edge, they will cut clear up to where the front page and the cover meet. So I gave them clear instructions on my book not to do that. They could leave that front page and the cover connected. I would be fine with that. So I told them specifically just cut the edge, so that they were cutting like 1/16 of an inch off. Okay, so that's what I went for them to cut. Kathy, you've got a very good point. If you do not have them do that, if they cut wherever they're going to cut, this book really isn't all that close, but if you are looking at where the book binding is, if they cut 1 inch of that book off, or 1/4 of an inch, when they go to put the spirals in, they could be putting spirals into your words of the book. And so they actually kind of did a little bit. So this is the table of contents. This is nothing you can't see. So if you look right here, some of my first letters are cut into. I can still tell what they're going to say, but if that would bother you, the other option I would consider doing is have them cut your binding. Just cut the binding. Don't spiral it. Just cut the binding and use sheet protectors. Okay? That is an alternative way to do it. So, yeah, just make sure that they know. They actually had me sign something that if they messed up my book, I wasn't going to hold them liable. And they did a boo-boo in my book. They accidentally flipped 2 pages. So, and I'm going to show you just the edges. So I have 2 pages that have the spiral binding cut on the outside in addition to on the inside now. They tried copying the pages and putting in copied pages, but their copied pages were sticking out of the book, and I'm like, no, you guys got to fix this. So, it can be hit or miss. I've never had it messed up before this, so this one being a little messed up means that I can always tell which book is mine because I've got the extra pages that are marked now. But with that being said, if that will bother you, make sure to use a place that you trust a little bit more or something like that. Susan says that she had the UPS store spiral bind her Tula Pink 100 blocks book last spring. They did a great job. Yeah, I have never had it not come out great. So this was my first time that it didn't come out fantastic, but it was less than $5. So I'm not going to complain about it because, it was less than $5. But if that would bother you, the other option would be just to have them cut the binding, just charge you for cutting the binding, and then you put everything in sheet protectors, because then you can put it into a binder and you're good. Melina says, hey, you came on early just a little bit. We hadn't talked about a whole lot. We were talking about spiral binding our books. That's all we were talking about. We haven't talked about anything else. You have not missed much. It is going to be a little slow. Well, it started out a little slow. It may not stay slow. I'm just going to say that. So I am going to try to put my Dr. Pepper out of sight so that it's not all up in y'all's faces. So I may be reaching in front of the camera a lot tonight, just so you guys know and are aware that is likely to happen tonight. So if you want to know about spiral binding your Celebrate with Quilts book or any of your other quilt related books, or any book, honestly, any book, I would totally do this to a recipe book. Absolutely, hands down. Would totally spiral bind one. And I've got a couple of other books that I would probably do that to. But what I value for a spiral bound book is that I can open up to that one particular pattern I want to do. And I'm doing 3 or 4 or 5 of them or whatever. And I can have just that one page in front of me and not have all the extra from other pages in front of me. So that is value to me. That is big value to me. So on Sunday night, and this is what we're going to get into tonight. On Sunday night, I gave the option for everybody to, what did you guys want me to work on? Did you want me to work on something I've pulled out in the past? Did you want me to pull out something new? And the overall vote was something brand new. So what I have is someone's UFO. I have no idea where it came from. Oh, thank you, Kathy. She says, hey guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so with that being said, this is a UFO. Okay. I have, it looks like maybe 2 blocks. Let me see. I don't even know what I have. I really don't know. For honest to goodness, I do not know. Okay, it looks like I have 2 blocks finished. And I think I know why they might not have finished any more than this. So, Susan says, tomorrow I will thread white bobbins and use my Juki for the very first time. Yay! That's exciting. Laura says, I have some books that I'd love to have spiral about. Yeah, do one at a time. Or at least have a site do one and then go back and do others. I think when I go back to do my next book that I'm going to spiral bind, I'm going to take it to the FedEx location. I took this one to the Staples location here in town. And it's not awful, okay? So it's not horrendous. I've seen worse books, but it's just missing something for me. But with that being said, I would absolutely do it again. Let's see. Welcome in, Maddie. She says, I'm assuming she, correct me if I'm wrong, says, hello, it's my first time here. I've been watching. Thank you. Thank you for being here and for commenting. I appreciate it. If you tell me where you're from, too, I will try to remember that as well. Charlotte says, I tend to use PDF documents for quilting, so I got a comb binding machine and some combs to punch out and bind my own. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I have, okay? So you guys can be just as amazed as I am at what I have. Okay, so I have a printout. This is a printout of a, you're from Michigan. Awesome. We've got a couple others from Michigan. Nice and chilly. It is 27 here. Right, Kathy? She says, I would love to get a comb binding machine, right? I would love to as well. So this picture, somebody downloaded it off of Facebook. Here's the little X, here's the little Facebook symbol, and here's the make the picture bigger or smaller on their phone. So that is my picture, okay? It is the printout that they did of a picture. And all of these blocks, they've got a welcome in, Linda. She says, hello from Kentucky. Welcome, welcome. So the center of the blocks are all the same color. And then I know it's hard to tell in the picture, but each block is surrounded by basically it's offset half rectangles, and they're partial seams, and that could be the other reason that they're not done. So, but I have 2 blocks that are done, but I think they attached one of them the wrong way, so that's why they stopped working on them. So this is block 1, and these are some very bright colors. So we've got, this has like all kinds of greens and orange prints in it. And then the center one, they put the black and white print fabric towards the center. And then of course the black center. I may have to answer this. Bear with me just a minute. Charlotte says, Kathy, I got mine from Amazon for about $40. That's awesome. Kathy says, it looks like the centers may be 2.5-inch squares surrounded by 2.5 by 5.5-inch half square triangles. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know what size these are. But I have a stack of them. I have a stack. So this one, they did opposite. So instead of putting the black and white towards the center, they put the black and white towards the outside, which I don't think they meant to do. So this one actually has a pin in it. I don't know where there's the pin. This one has a pin in it. So I think they pinned it to mark that they needed to take this one apart and redo. So that's my thought, is that the black and white centers are all supposed to go toward the center. That's what the picture shows. So it's very bright and bold fabric. So I'm going to see what all we have. Susan says that she ended up at the library for peace and quiet. Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Okay, so I have a stack of black squares. I mean, a stack. It's pretty thick. And then I've got one that's not black, but it's the same exact size. So I don't know if they ran out of black and cut this other one for some reason, or what the deal is. So I don't know. I guess let me pull these out and see what I've got, because I've got some that are partially assembled. Yeah, these are all half square rectangles assembled. Susan says, I personally like it that way. Which one? With the colors in the center? I think the colors to the outside will play well, or the black and white to the inside will play well to match the original printout, and it doesn't look bad in person on the printout. I know it doesn't show up well on the camera, but it does look okay on the camera or in person. Sorry. All right, so I've got a big stack of them partially assembled, and then that one's assembled, but I don't know that they really did the right tension on some of these, so I may end up taking some apart anyway. Kathy says she'll be right back. Absolutely. Laura says, I forgot I have a comb binding machine. It's been in storage so long I forgot about it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Susan says when she got home, they were on her roof taking the roofing off. What a racket. This morning, due to the likelihood of incoming snow, they put the shingles on today. Yeah. That explains why you went to the library. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. All right, so I have a stack. Oh, there's another black square. I'm going to sandwich it in so that I've got that other colored square on top. And I think they pressed all of these. Let me see. They pressed all of these towards the color fabric away from the black and white. The way it was actually sewn. Well, there's two. They sewed two different ones. So they sewed one. They sewed one with the black and white on the outside and then one with the black and white on the inside. But when you put them together, they really don't form a secondary pattern. So I think that they would have taken one of these apart. And the fact that there's a pin in it, that leads me to believe that they may have wanted to take it apart too. The lady, okay. So I'm looking at some of these half square rectangles. Oh, this whole stack, or most of the whole stack. So these are the color ones. These are the brightly colored fabrics. I mean, just a massive stack of them. It says there's 60, but I don't know if it was actually counted that way or if it's an old sticky note. And then there's an equally large stack. Okay, that one's actually pressed open or pressed out. There's an equally large stack of these black and white black and white triangles too. I agree, Linda. I think so too. She says like the black and white in center. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So let me put these up on the wall so I can both get them out of the way and get them up where you guys can see them. Let's see. All right. This is way back on my wall. All right, that's the one that is not correct by the pattern, and then this is the one that is. Oh, that's another problem. Okay, so they do have to be sewn with the black and white centers in across the whole quilt, or they have to be sewn with the black and white centers out towards the whole quilt. So when I put them up on the wall, I know you can't see it, probably. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see it. I doubt you guys can see it. Unless you have like x-ray vision or something. Alright, bear with me a second, guys. I'm so sorry. Bear with me. I've got a friend that we're planning to meet up tomorrow evening, and they could meet tonight, but they're not feeling great. So yeah, we're waiting until tomorrow night. Pam says, good evening, team, and welcome in, Pam. Welcome in, William. He says, hello, everyone. Hello, sir. The blocks up top that you see with the black centers, that is what we are working on. Laura says, we used to manufacture artistic rubber stamps. We sold the business to my sister-in-law, and she didn't want the binding machine. Oh, that's fantastic. Chloe, she says, hello, Tammy, and welcome. So, we are playing with half square rectangles first. I'm just going to put them together. I think that's what... Oh, okay. So we may have a slight issue, maybe. Yeah, we're going to have an issue. I know what the problem is. I think I know what the problem is. At least with that first stack of them. Okay, these are problem children too. Let me make sure. You guys are going to laugh when you see the problem. Okay, those are not problem children. Okay, we can work with those. Those are fine. Those are fine. Those are fine. Okay, they didn't cut that many wrong. Okay. So there's only a few that are cut wrong. So those may end up going onto the the back of the quilt. Okay. Yes, good question, Pam. She is asking, Kathy, are you getting your rest? Okay. So the square rectangles need to be cut like that. And they cut some of them like this. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So they are cut backwards. So I can't use them all on the front. My watch is still going off. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll send a message later. The rest of it can wait. The rest of it can wait. Kathy says that she had rest from Friday to light activity today. Has to go back to work tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Susan says in about an hour she's going to be heading out to let a friend of her daughter's into the apartment she moved out of so he can take her old couch to the dump and to pick up the debris left from the packing up. Awesome. That's fantastic to have friends like that can do all of that. Okay, so we will be a few blocks short of whatever this number is. I mean, it says 60, but we'll be a few blocks short one way or the other because I will not have enough blocks. Kathy says that she went to the doctor Monday and found she has strep again. Oh no! Strep is not fun. I've had that far too many times. Far too many times. All right. So with this being said, okay, so this one's the right direction. Let me see if some of these others are the wrong direction. If that is what happened. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so we're going to have to do some kind of funky something or other because the ones that are sewn are the wrong direction. So this one's correct. This one's fine. But it's the only one. And, oh my gosh. Well, I don't have any of the color fabric that's cut the wrong direction. So, which one is right? Okay, so this is the correct direction. Yeah, this is the correct direction. The other one does not come out the correct direction. So that is what the problem with this quilt was. And that the original owner did not want to try to figure out. 4th time this year, says Kathy. Oh my gosh, Kathy. That is not okay. It is not cool. Not cool. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. So these half square rectangles some of these have already been ripped apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up like this. And so we are going to sew them. We're going to see how many blocks we can get out of this. And I don't know how late tonight I'm going to sew on this. I do have to get back to my other project and definitely get some sewing done on it in time for tomorrow because I don't want to be lugging too much stuff. Can I rotate the rectangles with right sides up? Well, that's kind of the thing. Hang on just a second. Let me get this one through. So that's yes and no. Yes and no. Pam says I would put right ones in the center and make blocks with the wrong ones around the outside with an inner border or make 2 small quilts. I might do the 2 small. Or I might make 2 separate quilts. I might just make 2 separate quilts. Just depending on how much fabric I've got. But see, I don't have any extra of the color fabric, so whatever is already sewn is all I have to work with. Okay, so this rectangle is the inverse of that rectangle. Do you see the black and white? How one is the top is the bigger part and the other, the bottom, is the bigger part. So I would have to flip it wrong sides up to make it be the correct direction. And this one is the correct direction. The one attached to the green is the correct direction. And then the one attached to the blue is the wrong direction. So this entire stack that I've got, from what I could tell, is this direction, which is the wrong direction, which will be okay. It will be fine as long as I'm consistent with it, because otherwise it won't line up. The other challenge So as you're looking at this block, okay, so you have a seam right here and you have a seam right here. This block will be attached to a block right next to it that is just identical to it. So this seam will be right here on the next block, so you don't have to line up your seams. So your block will not have a bulky seam here. You won't have to press a certain direction or anything like that. But if I mix and match them directly next to each other, we have the problem of the seams lining up immediately to each other. And because this is now a multiple person sewing project, I don't want to mix and match if I don't have to. Let's see. Kathy says that she doesn't use reusable straws because she just doesn't like trying to clean them. Think I'm getting it because my doctor works at a doctor's office. That could definitely work. That could definitely be the case. Yeah, they definitely will make an interesting pattern. So we're going to see what I end up with. And see how many blocks I can make. And we will go from there. I mean, I think I'll work on this next Tuesday too. And just knock out this whole project. Because this isn't that hard to work on. It was just, I didn't know what I did and did not have in the pattern. I mean, because again, my pattern sheet, you guys saw that, right? My pattern sheet is a picture. That is it. And that is my pattern sheet. Oh, let's see. Daughter and grandson both have it as well. I was over at their house last week and he has learned how to kiss and he was giving me kisses. So that's probably how I got, yeah, absolutely. It definitely, you definitely can get it that way. I've only had strep a couple times with Susan. My kids would get it and share. Yeah, I ended up with strep a lot in junior high and high school. Like every spring, without fail, if I did not have some kind of upper respiratory infection, I definitely had strep. Like that would be the overwhelming one that I would end up with. That would be the overwhelming one. Kathy says that she never had strep until after she had COVID. Her ENT told her she was a carrier and would probably never catch it. All the antibiotics with COVID might have mixed that. Yeah, it can. Because strep is, my understanding, strep is bacterial based. But they really, I don't think they ever managed to kill it. But thankfully I've gotten lucky and this dry climate really helps me with that. Another thought would be to border the wrong ones with black and the right ones with white. And so, I love that idea, Charlotte. That is fantastic. Okay, guys. So what she's suggesting, and I love that idea. I love it. I love it, love it. I don't know how many pieces I got, so I don't know if I can do it. And I don't know, well, I probably can do it. But I don't know how many... You know, and if I changed out the centers of the ones with white instead of black, oh my gosh, that would add to it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know how big of a quilt it's going to make. That's the other thing, is I don't know how big of a quilt. Kathy says, Susan, I never had strep until after I COVID. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Mine was viral. Okay. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, that's what I remember from having it as a kid. But, you know, when you're a kid, you always remember things differently than how they might actually be. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see, you guys. So interesting to see. I like that idea, though. I like that idea. So I guess I'm going to wait to finish out the blocks. Like I'm going to wait until all the house fur triangles are sewn to decide if I'm going to use all black centers for everything or if I'm going to change out the centers on one set to white. So I think I'm just going to wait to see how many I've got. Mine is a pain in the behind. Never run a fever with it. Yeah, the checkerboard age is great. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't know that I ever ran a fever with strep either. But I also, it took collapsing at work to find out that I had walking pneumonia. I am one of those people that will push through anything. Like, I will not give up on, anything that I feel is an obligation. So I pushed through a lot more than I should. I did do something smart today. You guys will be proud of me. So the physical therapy place that I've been going to, I'm going to 2 different places. Okay, so I'm not seeing the same therapist every day, but at one of the therapy places, I was literally doing the rounds. Like, I have been there, I think it's 4 or 5 weeks or so, on this round, and they're trying to treat my migraines. And the approach that the initial therapist came up with, I kind of like her idea. So I'm like, that's fine. We'll go that route and see what you can do. And the next, like, how many of her visits I've been, I have not seen her. Like, she has not been the therapist that has worked with me. It's been somebody else. Which, okay, fine. I get that there's like a whole bunch of different people in the therapy office, and it can be hard with the way modern therapy is. It can be hard for them to schedule just one therapist for one patient. So they want to maximize their profits, and I get it. It's business. It's not, yes, it's medicine, but it is business. So I get why they could do that, or why they would want to do that. But the last person who worked on me before today, I couldn't tell her to stop. Like, it was like, okay. I am the type person, Susan says, worst time was when my 2 grade school kids had it. My husband and I got it, and was so concerned that my 6-month-old daughter, oh gosh, yeah, that would be awful. Welcome in, Katie. Welcome in. You can do an exclamation selfie if you like. Kathy says it sounds like her. She doesn't slow down very easy. No, I don't slow down at all. So when I was there today, I was seeing the original therapist, the one that made the plan. And I looked at her and I said, look, I am the type person that when I had a massage chair, it was set at the highest level. Like, it was set to break your back level, therapy. Like, it was the most intense, the hardest, all of that. Like, that's what I had the massage chair set to, because that's what actually worked for me. But, so that feels good, but I couldn't tell her to stop because, is she going to push past where I'm hurting and get all the pain out, or is she going to leave me halfway through? And she left me halfway through. So I was in a lot of pain from last week's visit. So we have scheduled to not have that particular therapist work on me, just because I really liked what she did, but it hurt, and it continued to hurt afterwards. So I stood up for myself, which is hard for me to do sometimes. Katie saying hiya to everyone I haven't said hi to yet. Welcome in, Katie. We are working on a UFO that I picked up at a Free to Good Home project giveaway. A lady that I go to one of my quilt groups with, used to run a store here in town. Sold sewing machines, sold fabric, all of that. And she collected a lot of projects that she just had not finished. And, projects she started and was demonstrating something, or, whatever. So she brought in a whole bunch of projects that she knew she wasn't going to finish. And this is one of those projects. The other one that I've got that I will end up pulling out probably in a couple of weeks, or well, after our December show and tell, is going to be pink and black. I've had these a couple of weeks, but I just haven't played with them at all. So it's kind of good to get to play with them. I guess I should be counting these. What do you think? Should I be counting these? We are just sewing half square rectangles together. That is all we are doing at the moment. They are going to make some fun blocks. Once I get off of here, I've got to finish some stuff for my temperature quilt, because I am taking the last of everything, boxing it all up. Kathy says that he came over tonight and got to try chicken korma, vegetable samosa, and garlic naan. Oh my gosh, I love chicken korma. Oh my gosh, and garlic naan. Oh, Kathy, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. That is my food. That is my food. I would eat that so many meals over. His eyes got real big on the chicken korma. Oh my gosh. I love chicken korma. I love it. I love it. There is a place here in town that I've eaten at a couple of times now that does sell Thai food, or Thai and Indian, and their naan is just not, it doesn't hold its shape. Like, it doesn't have any substance to it. It's very, very thin, kind of like as thin as you would think of for making a crepe. I mean, it's real stinking thin. It's mild and still too spicy for me, but she's been craving it. Yeah. You can ask for it to be super mild. Some Indian places do not know, and Thai places do not know how to make it milder. I'm going to be craving that now. Darn it. So like the Siberian wind, you can count when you're done. Oh, Pam, I love you. That's hilarious. So I've been watching back through videos, and right now I'm in the process of going through the one that we did during the Super Bowl, during the big game. And I was wearing the same shirt that I'm wearing today. I did not realize when I put it on today that I was going to be watching myself wearing this shirt. And like as the video is going, I am literally writing down things that I need to note in the description. So I'm getting there. We are getting there. I've gotten a couple of videos re-uploaded, or re-tagged and all of that, and re-released. But I'm working on the rest of them, I promise. My local guild has me signed up to teach 2 different things this upcoming year. Last night was our planning meeting for that group. I'm in 2 different groups right now that have a leader other than myself. And the one thing that I am teaching is I will be teaching You're Comfortable Doesn't Matter to Us. You're awesome. Daughter is here to get the Indian food take to grandbaby. He likes spicy. Awesome, Kathy. So I'm teaching Cut and Chiseled. So we will be doing a Saturday class on Cut and Chiseled here in Casper. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. It'll be the first time in a really long time teaching something like that in person. I may be teaching a lot more before then because I've got to get my applications in, and so I will probably be teaching 4-H classes by then. I fully expect that I will be. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of ongoing. I'm going to be teaching every time I turn around. So I love hanging out with you guys because even though I can teach, or even though I'm teaching some of the time and not other, like I'm just chatty, it is more like a virtual guild because you guys are, even if you're not, sewing, you're chatting that you're sewing. You're telling me that you're sewing. That's gotta count, right? It's the thought that counts. But on that big game sew day, I was talking about how I'd done the 12-hour live with Katie over New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. I won't be able to do that again this year by any stretch of the imagination, or at least not the whole time, because we're going to be doing the Zoom on January 1st. What am I thinking? Stitch in Heaven. Stitch in Heaven has their New Year's Day mystery quilt. So I'm going to be doing that on the Zoom. And we'll figure out how we're transforming the Zoom, transforming the live from Stitch in Heaven into our Zoom and back and forth. Yeah, we're going to do all of that. We're going to do all of that and more. But I am going to be doing a live. This print is so funny, you guys. This black and white print. I'm looking down at it, and it's got a little bit of a wave at the bottom of the print. And I seriously thought they had cut the fabric kind of wonky because the black was gone and the white was matching my desk. Charlotte says, that's cool to teach. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what all they want me to teach. I've taught pajama pants. I've taught pajama tops. I really don't like teaching t-shirts, but I can. Just because there's so many ways you can stretch the fabric and it ends up looking funky and not as cool. I've taught pillowcases. I've taught, obviously, quilting. What else have I taught? I've taught embroidery, or machine embroidery. I mean, I've taught a whole bunch of things. So we're going to see. I meant to write down the number of the machines. I think it's a 1008. It's either a 1008 or it's an 1150 or 1050 is what the machines are in the classroom. So I'm going to be there tomorrow, and I can look tomorrow and see, like, if they'll let me into it, which I think they will. I'll look and see what all machines they've got and how we need to set everything up, and I'm going to have to plan a day to go up there and just clean. The room definitely needs a deep cleaning. It's not dusty, but it's just, when you know a room has been sitting for a little bit, and the last people who used it were probably planning to come back, but they didn't, or things have come in and just been put in there for storage purposes, you kind of need to go in and kind of do a little bit of cleaning up a little bit to get everything back where it needs to be. I'm going to have to teach how to use an iron safely. What else am I going to have to do? Teach how to use scissors safely and rotary cutters. I'm going to have to teach all the cool things. And I do still have somewhere, left-handed scissors and I think I have left-handed pinking shears. I don't know if I have any left-handed rotary cutters anymore. I think I did get rid of all those finally. But some rotary cutters you can change direction on. Oh my gosh, guys. This is a big stack of these. This is a big stack of these half-square rectangles. I'm almost tempted to go ahead and pull off what I've got done so I can see how many I've done. But then I'll probably be disappointed with how many I've done. And I think they were basically trying to do 4 different colors per block. Susan says, I taught 2 sisters, age 6 and 9, how to sew simple quilt tops a year ago. We machine quilted their quilts and they entered them in the Yakima Guild Quilt Show last spring. Awesome! Short from safety teaching is don't do it. Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so I'm going to take something from my instructor at the, and please do not get mad at me, guys. I am not saying you need to go do all of this, okay? But I for a course in concealed carry so that I could apply for a concealed carry permit, and so that I would know how to safely use a gun, properly use my gun. So I wanted to make sure that all of that was set properly, so that I didn't accidentally unalive myself or someone else because I was just careless and didn't know what I was doing. Some of the teaching techniques, even when we had like the dummy ones, the ones that are non-functional, they're just weighted resin or plastic or whatever, she was still treating them like they were alive. And then when we went to the range, every body motion she did, like I was watching her as she was doing all of that, and I'm just going, you are not joking about being safe. It's like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense watching you do this. And her emotions were exaggerated, but her emotions being exaggerated made me pay more attention. So I think that's one thing I'm going to apply to rotary cutting and scissors and iron and all of that, is being exaggerated in the amount of safety, so that my students understand just how important it is to be safe. Charlotte says, but where's the fun in that? Oh, not doing it? Is that what we're talking about? Not doing it? Yeah, no, we got to do it. We got to teach the younger generations. Got to have future quilters. Katie says she'll be back if I'm still here, going to FaceTime with 2 of her granddaughters. Awesome. Have fun, Katie. Yeah, we're gonna see how far I can get through this stack. I am not as fast of sewing these as I would normally be with like straight piecing, because I do not want these seams to stretch. Guys, look at how fun this print is. This is just so stinking cute. And I am not normally this kind of print. Like, this is not my normal thing. But, oh my gosh, it's cute. It kind of looks like a Benartex fabric. When I was at Missouri Star over the weekend, I got reacquainted to what Benartex has out. And Benartex is one of those that, even though I may not be in love with every line that they put out, I really do like their fabrics. Just as much as a lot of people like Moda or any other big brand, I do like Benartex. They tend to be a thicker fabric. And they tend to have a good hand to them. They do wear well. I do have a couple of quilts with Benartex fabrics in them, and they do wear well. I mean, I can tell a little bit of a difference after so many years and ripping quilting stitches out of Benartex fabrics, that the Benartex held up a little bit better than, a cheap Walmart fabric would. Not necessarily that it's, different than a Joann's fabrics. Charlotte says, good idea. Yeah, the exaggerated movements really, it hit home for me because, I know she has to do it because it literally is life and death, but people don't think, I love the new Bee Haven line that is organic. Ooh, I don't think I saw any of that, or at least it wasn't showcased. So I will have to look at that. But, if you make a wrong slip with a rotary cutter, you could lose feeling in a finger for, the rest of your life. Andrea says, howdy, howdy, howdy. Sorry I'm late. Took an unexpected nap. You are fine, Andrea. Welcome in. Charlotte says that she has yet to find a fabric I don't like outside of burlap. Oh, okay. Well, since you brought it up, I have found a fabric I am not a huge fan of. I bought a kit from an Elizabeth Hartman kit for Fab Farm, and it has Essex fabric, and it's more of a woven, kind of like a linen. It feels like it's a wider weave or something, or the threads are bigger in the weave, and it feels weird. It feels weird to me. I'm not sure I like it. Chloe says that she's not purchased it yet. Pat Sloan is working with it. Okay. I will have to go check it out, though. I had not heard of that one yet. And I bet it's probably just as expensive as some of the other big brands. Or it's a boutique brand in that respect. And it's going to be more expensive, which means out of my price range. But these fabrics, these are kind of gorgeous. I'm kind of in love with it. If you guys are looking for ideas, if you are a member of a local quilt guild, and you guys are looking for ideas for your 2025 planning list, things that you guys want to do in 2025, one of the things that our group last night voted to do, it is a mystery quilt, but it is a mystery quilt swap. And so what we are each going to do is the group is going to buy the background fabric. So I'm assuming it's going to be white, or it's going to be close to white, or it might be an off-white or cream or something, but it's going to be, a light-colored background. And each of us will make 16 or 24, how many ever people are participating in the swap. We're going to make that many blocks, all the same size. So like if I make one block that's 12 inches or 12-inch finished, I need to make 15 or 23 more. Depends on, how many people are participating in the swap. So you make the number of blocks for the number of people participating. And you choose the block that you're making. And so when we go to do the exchange, all of our blocks will get set on our table in front of us, and then every member of the swap goes around and picks up a block from somebody else's stack. So you'll have one of your own, and then you'll have 15 or 23 others, depending on, again, how many people are participating. And then we're going to size the blocks based off of how many people are participating. So if there's 24 people, it'll be a smaller block. If there's 16 people, or we might do 24 12-inch blocks, and then you get 2 different quilts out of it. Something like that. There's options. There are options. So Charlotte says that she saw the Bee Haven line today, and it's really pretty. It's a really pretty line. Okay, that's awesome. Now there was, I'm trying to think which shop I was in. There was one of the shops in the Missouri Star shops that actually had a section that was nothing but bee fabric. Like there were bees, there was honeycomb, there was line drawing bees, there's colorful bees, all of that kind of thing. Is it like that, or do they have other prints? Oh, she saw it in person apparently. Or well, I guess. Good question. Chloe's asking if Charlotte saw it online or in person. I do not know if my local shop has it in yet. I don't get an update. They don't always tell us what they got in new. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just depends on how busy they are. Charlotte says that's a neat idea for the quilt block exchange. It is. It is. Apparently they did this years ago. And so one of the ladies brought her quilt. And apparently we're supposed to sign the... Oh, she saw it online, Chloe. But apparently we're supposed to sign our blocks, with a micron pen or whatever. Or hand embroider it, or machine embroider, whatever. So we're supposed to embroider our block, or mark our block with our name. So, of course, me being me, I am probably going to be the one doing the most difficult block. Just because I like a good challenge. And doing it 24 times will not faze me if I can chain piece it. I do not mind chain piecing. I do have an idea about what block or what design we're going to be doing for the December 14th class. I've not put the class up yet on YouTube, but we are going to do a class on December 14th. It is a freebie class. There will be a pattern issued out I'm going to try to get it issued out by December 7th, so you guys have a week to get it printed, so you won't be, you know, sitting there not able to participate because you don't have the pieces. So you'll have a week to get everything printed. But I do have a design in mind for what we're going to do for our paper piecing freebie. And it is going to be something you can use all year long, so you don't have to necessarily choose something festive or Christmassy or anything like that. You can use your own fabrics, obviously. And it will suit well to Scrappy. You will need to choose a background that you want to use as your background color, so it kind of has some cohesiveness to it. But you will definitely be able to go Scrappy with it. Chloe says that she's curious how the Bee Haven line feels. I'm curious too. It probably, if I had to hazard a guess, it probably feels fairly similar to washed fabrics. Like if they're trying to market it as 100% organic, they probably did not want to add any finishing coatings to the fabric. So like when you buy some fabrics in the store, it'll kind of have that that pre-starched feeling to it. So I'm wondering if, because they're billing it as an organic fabric, if they're going to forego any treatments to it, which also makes me wonder if it will bleed. Those are going to be my questions. Those are going to be my questions. Now I'm going to have to go look it up. Thanks, Chloe. I needed more things to look up. You're good. I love it. I do love it, you guys. All right, we're getting to the bottom of the stack already. We're getting close. I mean, I still have a good probably 20 or so. Oh gosh. We may run till 8 tonight if that's okay with you guys. Is 2 hours okay? Or is 2 hours too long? You let me know. Is 2 hours too long for tonight? For a Tuesday night? It's not normal for me to go that long on Tuesday night. You guys let me know. Because it is literally just sewing this. That is all I'm doing. I think I will finish the stack one way or the other. So I will do that before I jump back into my temperature quilt project. But so yeah, tomorrow I am going to have all of my stuff boxed up and take it with me to my sewing day, my Wednesday sewing day. And I will be getting everything prepped, laid out and prepped, to be able to get done with it. So I will be able to come home from that and everything will be ready to start sewing. So I'll be able to get all the curved seams sewn. Susan says it will allow me to come back home and still see you. Awesome! Yay! Chloe says that is an excellent deduction, Tammy. Yeah, that's my main thing. Andrea says since I just woke up from a nap, I'm good to go for a while, so 2 hours is fine with me. Awesome. Pam says so. Yes. Okay, we will do it. We will do it. I still need to get my wish list up, guys. I really do need to get my wish list up. I guess if I have downtime Thursday, that's what I'm going to be doing. Thursday morning. So I've got all of the days done for the temperature quilt. I have 3 months left of letters to go. And spoiler alert, if you do not absolutely love paper piecing small things, there will be 2 alphabets included. Just the letters for the months in English, but 2 alphabets included. Welcome in, Janice. She says hello, everyone. Welcome. Lori says go for it. I'm cross stitching. Awesome. Ooh, Chloe says I need to sew more on Andrea's mystery quilt along. Okay, Andrea. Okay. I talked to somebody this morning about this. How long do I have before the mystery quilt is due? And then is it a random drawing for who wins? You gotta let me know. Is it random drawing and when's the deadline? Because if I get this temperature quilt done by the end of November, I might have time to join in. It will be the end of November before I can guarantee. Because my infusion is 1 week from tomorrow. So I will be toast 1 week from tomorrow, and then Thanksgiving Day I will be a little recovering from my infusion. So my energy level may not be what it normally might have been. So we'll have to see. Good question. Chloe is wanting to know, Janice, how are you doing? Random drawing probably the week of Christmas. Okay. When is it due by? Like, when do we have to have our entries submitted by? Lori says, be right back. Absolutely, Lori. Absolutely. I'm probably about to get a drink here in just a minute. My throat is really dry. Coming back from Missouri with the humidity is killing me. Welcome in, Jess. Oh, by the way, you guys, if you have a channel, do exclamation selfie tonight. You can get your link posted into the chat by doing exclamation selfie. YouTube or Nightbot takes care of doing all of that for me, so we can thank Nightbot for being so kind and generous. I think I'm going to run out of the colors before I run out of the black and whites. So I will have extra black and white half square rectangles left over. And I don't know if I really want to try to cut more rectangles or half square rectangles. We'll see. December 20th is the deadline. Okay, I might be able to participate. Expect an email from me late November around Thanksgiving. I will hit you up then if I am to the point where I can pick it up. That would be the go deadline if I can make it. Let's see. Melina says she squared a quilt, now getting the binding ready. Awesome! I actually had someone call me tonight about their binding machine. So I have one of those Simplicity binding making machines. If you've ever seen them before, great. If you haven't, basically what it does is you select the size tip for the size binding you're making. You cut your strips to whatever size, the tool tells you need to make the strips into. And you sew everything together, press your seams, and then feed it in. Welcome in, Candace. Charlotte is headed to bed. She says, night Tammy and everyone, have a great rest of the life. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Have a good night. Sleep well. Yeah, so the binding tool, or binding machine is fantastic. I love mine. What I do when I use it is I will make 3, 4, or 5 quilts worth of binding, and I'll just set it up and go ahead and breeze through the binding for 5 quilts, and I'm done, and I don't have to do any more with it, and it's fantastic. They cut some of the selvage into some of these, so those are the ones I'm cycling through, because I think I'm going to run out of the colors, but I don't think I'm going to run out of black and white. So, yeah, I'm just cycling through the black and white ones where they cut the selvage into the half square rectangles. So if I don't end up needing them, then I can decide what I'm going to do with them later. And I won't feel guilty about it. That's going to be the key, is not feeling guilty about wasting something. And it wouldn't be waste. I would put it in my scraps. Andrea says that she's been working on prep work for a tutorial today, was going to film, but her husband threw a wrench into the works. He was off today and is off tomorrow, so not a quiet place to film. I understand that. I understand so very, very well. That is such a mess. I actually had the door open originally, and then my husband decided that I was going to be too loud for him. So he's the one that came and moved my batting out of the way to close my door. Oh. Yes, I agree, Jess. She says, oh, sorry to hear that, Andrea. It's okay. Looking forward to seeing it, though. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to all the new tutorials. Let's see. What else am I missing? Okay, so I'm teaching Cut and Chiseled in August at my local group, and I'm going to start teaching 4-H once I get approved and get through all the hoops. I got 3 of these left, guys. That's it. Only 3 of the color ones. And then what do I have left? Debate. What do I have left? I am also going to be teaching curved piecing. So I'm going to teach a tutorial on curved piecing to my local group, local guild. So you guys will get the benefits of that as well, because I will come teach it here before I go teach it there. So in 2025, look for curved piecing. It will be coming up. So if you ever wanted to do curved piecing, there will be a tutorial. There will be some lessons. We will go over it all, because I'll have to make samples to show, because it's not going to be a machine night, I don't think. Maybe with my cameras I could figure out a way to set it up so it'd be a machine night. I might figure that out. We might see. We might see. Alright, so I'm at the last colored one. So this gets all the colored ones in, and I have black and white ones left over. And I have a good stack of black and white ones left over, both the right way and the wrong way. So I got leftovers. So we're going to see how many blocks I can make with the ones that are done the right way and ones that are done the wrong way. And then we're going to measure and see what we're kind of end up with. Alright, so for each of these I need 4. So I'm just going to count in pairs of 4. 3, 4. That's 1 block. I'll set it over there. 4. I love this trimming tool. I have started looking at the ones that use your rotary blade, but I have not bit the bullet and bought one yet. I've seen them before, but I saw them again at Missouri Star and kept thinking about it. But I was like, well, I still have this one and it still works fantastic, and I just use a razor blade in it. That's what you put in these. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to swap. I guess the other one would be more portable, so it'd be easier to travel with. So maybe I should. Curve piecing is fun, says Chloe. Yes, it is. It is. And it really is a confidence booster. If you can do curved piecing, then that puts you so far ahead, because you're going to feel confident in doing that piecing as well as doing anything else that you might come across. Yay, you guys. There is Andrea's link for her channel. So if you guys have not checked Andrea out or subscribed to her, you can click over for Mama J Enterprises and visit her channel and subscribe. But wait until after my video to go watch her. You got to go watch her after me. I could be a little selfish, right? I'm just kidding. We're gonna see how many blocks I can make, because if you duck out now, you'll miss how many blocks we're gonna make. It is incredibly hard to count 4, and I don't know why. Like, I keep thinking that I haven't counted enough, and then I keep thinking that I need to count more. I don't know why 4 is a hard number for me. But 4 is definitely a hard number. But you only need 4 of these to make the block. Oh. 2, 3, and 4. You guys are going to love this when I put this together because all of these bright prints, I'm going to make sure we do some detailed pictures so you guys can look at them up close. I still need to do detailed pictures of Halloween Town, but I will do that once it's quilted. I took it to Guild last night for my show and tell and passed it around, and I took some pictures as it was going around the room. Ladies were holding it up and looking for specific blocks, or they were, a block would catch their eye and they would like want to look at it in more detail. It was really kind of cool to see that. So that was fantastic. Oh, I'm at the end. And I got 2 extra pieces. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so I got 2 pieces that will not match. Unless I've got 2 pieces in the other pile. Okay, so in this pile we have, how many blocks? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, is that right? Yeah, 14, 15 blocks. Okay, so we've got 15 blocks that are the correct direction, 16 with the one that was done correctly to begin with. And these are coming out to be, looks like 9-inch finished, or 8-inch. Let's see, hang on. Because it's just over, let's see. Let's do it that way. Okay. These are 9.5, so they'll be 9-inch finished blocks. So we'll have 16 9-inch finished blocks that are that direction. Let's see. Andrea says, as soon as I can get my filming done, I'll be starting a series on crumb blocks using dryer sheets. I saw your post about that. That's going to be interesting. So Andrea is using used dryer sheets as foundation paper for crumb blocks. And I think that is really kind of cool. Oh, here's another one that is the right direction. Okay, so I have 3 that are the right direction. So I might just need, I don't have any more of this fabric though, so I don't know how I would do the other one. She's also been working on the pattern that Jess and Katie are going to test. Ah, gotcha, yeah. Got to get that one done too. Alright, so we are going to see if these are the wrong direction ones. Is that the right direction? Oh, you know what? This is the pieced in the wrong direction. Oh, you know what? Let me see if this will work. Okay, let me grab my stack of the other ones. And let's see. Okay, so that would be pieced the wrong direction. Oh, that's what we can do. Okay, so that would go that way. And those, okay. So, they are still the opposite direction. But, what I can do is I can still put the black towards the center. But instead of the skinny black being towards the center, the big black will be towards the center. So that's what the other block is going to be. Okay, so that makes more sense now. So now I know how I'm looking at these. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 1 block. So we're going to start another pile. And I will press these another time. I'm not going to press them tonight. But I will get them pressed. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I will also have to reorganize them. Ooh, yay. Jess says, yay, can't wait. She has a project she's going to use Andrea's quilts on. That is awesome. Well, mine became a Quilt of Valor. I still need to quilt it. I have taken off the extra row and resized it, you know, to Quilt of Valor standards. So mine is ready. I just need to actually do the work. I got to finish it up. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's see. Which way am I laying these? You should see my sewing area, says Andrea. It is a mess of organized chaos. I have projects stacked everywhere. That is why I love my little project bins. These little scrapbook boxes from Hobby Lobby. I guess I got the label off of this one successfully, but others, nope, no luck. But I love those because I have a stack of them underneath my desk. And so when I went to go pull this out, I just had to pull out a project bin. That is all I had to do. I did not have to think too hard or anything like that. I just had to pull a project bin out and it was good to go. It was ready to go. Alright, so that's the whole block. I'm getting faster at this now that I've gotten it down to which direction these lay. So we've got 16 blocks one direction, and I bet you we're going to have 16 blocks going the other direction is what it's going to end up being. So we'd have 32 9-inch finished blocks, which that's not a standard layout. I have one of those. I want a bunch more. Yeah, I have a lot, and I buy them usually when Hobby Lobby puts storage stuff on sale. That's when to go buy them because then they're like half off. But they're cheaper at Hobby Lobby than they are anywhere else. Michaels sells them too, and I have bought a couple from Michaels when they've been on sale at Michaels. But Michaels wants almost $10 for the same box that you can get at Hobby Lobby for $4. So, and I mean, it's $4 now, but I don't think it was $4 when I was originally buying some of them. So I think some of them were cheaper. Oh, they had thread tension issues too, guys. Maybe I can get it to set, but oh, you know how you can feel when there's like thread loops on the back of your pieces? Oh, it's scratchy feeling. Yeah, I'm not thrilled, so we're gonna see how many of these I end up having to re-sew to fix. Because that's definitely, I don't know that it's going to hold up. So I will make sure that they'll all hold up. That will be one thing I do as well. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm glad. This is going to be a cute little project. Won't take that long to finish. Thankfully, I didn't have to do all the cutting. I'm so glad I did not have to do the cutting. My sewing room is my living room because I cannot even walk through my sewing room right now. I'm trying to get that room organized. I absolutely understand that too, Andrea. When I was moving my storage unit into my closet, it was something. It was something. That's for sure. You know what? These just, okay, yeah, it does not, I am going the right direction, and none of these are like duplicate, for the opposite direction. I keep feeling like they should like reverse, and they don't reverse. That is my problem with half square rectangles, guys, is I struggle with directions on half square rectangles. I really do. Alright, so there's those two. Okay, and it looks like I got 2 left over. So, oh, I got 3 left over. So I got 3 left over of each direction. Why in the world do I have 3 and not 4? I don't know. But apparently, that's what I got. Alright, so I got 1 here. Alright, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I will have 32. So, yeah, I will have 32 of total 9-inch finished blocks. So I could do 6 by 8 is 48. 6 by 7 is 42, so that won't work. 5 by 5 is 30. Or no, 5 by 5 is 25. So 5 by 6 is 30. So I could do 5 by 6. And then I could do something in the middle with these. I could, let's see, what is my other options? Dividing 32. I mean, 8 and 4 go into 32, but I really don't want to do a 4 block by 8 block quilt. That just does not make sense. Let me see if this has, okay. I can figure out how many blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this was supposed to be 42 blocks. So we're 10 blocks short. Kind of, Andrea. So everybody voted on Sunday that I was going to pull out something new. So what I did is I have a UFO that I picked up from a Free to Good Home swap. So basically, the lady brought in a whole bunch of things. She didn't want to take them back home. They're in whatever state they're in when you get them. Like, you don't get to go, do you have any more of this fabric? It is what it is. You get what you get. So this is the pattern that I have. This is all of the pattern that I have. This is a Facebook picture print. There's no writing on the back. There's no writing on the front. I have no idea what the pattern name is. But this is what it was. I mean, here's a little Facebook symbol up here from where somebody printed this off of their phone, off of a screenshot. And they put borders on it too. So, 9 by 4 is only 36 inches. And then 8 by 9 would be 72. So it would be long enough, but it really wouldn't be wide enough. So I will have to figure out some kind of way. And because they cut half of them one way and half of them the other, it's going to mess with the pattern a little bit. So I think what's going to happen, I think I like Charlotte's idea. She recommended sashing them in different colors, like one set in black and then the other set in white, or bordering them that. Your sister called and brother-in-law is finally home from the hospital. That's awesome, Laura. Awesome. Good news. Very good news. Yes, good question, Chloe. How is he doing? Let's see. Create some funky corners, and in them you could add, use 32 and a 6x6. Yeah, I could. But if you know what? Let me count how many. So I've got 2 piles of 15, so I need 30 black squares. So let me see how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This fabric is kind of thick. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I know you guys love hearing me count, so I apologize. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so I got plenty of the black squares to do everything in black squares. But what I might do, if I do the checkerboard pattern, he has a follow-up appointment with the surgeon oncologist next week. Good. They're going to try to shrink the tumor before doing surgery. He's on a chemo pill. He's scared, and so is my sister. I bet. We will be praying. We will absolutely be praying, Laura. She is saying, thanks to Pam, the tumor is 10 centimeters. The doctor said they don't usually get that large. It's definitely going to be a long road ahead. I bet. Yeah, definitely scary. I agree, Chloe. Oh, Pam, you're cracking me up. Laura says that he's 58, has 4 kids, all praying positive thoughts are appreciated. Yes, absolutely. Take that gray quilt with you and go wrap him in it. Go wrap him in that gray and purple and blue quilt and let him feel the love. Let him feel that love. She says, I so wanted to say 56 and mix up your counting, but you can't hear me. So what I might do, all the ones that have the The small black going towards the center, I may keep in black. And then when I rip this out and put the black towards the center, it's going to have the big part of the black touching the center, or big parts of the black and white touching the center. So what I may do is I may take all of these out. I may take, this is the only one put together. So I may take and cut white squares to put in the middle. And so I'll sash these in black, and I will sash these in white. That might be my plan. I think that's what's going to be the plan. But I think I'm going to put this up until next week. I do have leftover half square rectangles. Some are cut one direction, some are cut the other. Some have selvage in the piece. So, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. So we're going to see. Awesome. I made them a couple of quilts, but I think we'll make them another one. Absolutely, Laura. Absolutely. That puts both your prayers into it and your thoughts and your sentiments into it, as well as renewing all of that to them. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Andrea says, I think I saw someone doing that pattern. It looks familiar anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who did it before me, but I mean, it came as part of the Please Take Me Home, Free to Good Home pile. And I don't turn down a lot from the Free to Good Home pile. So it, of course, had to come home with me. But I think now we have a direction. So these black squares, and again, because I don't know the pattern designer, I don't know who made it, I know nothing. These black squares are cut at 3.5, approximately 3.5. So all I have to do is cut 16 3.5 inch white squares, and then I am good to go on to the next part of the process and start putting them together. True Blue Quilt says a lot with half rectangle squares. I've not seen it before. Yeah, I haven't. I really don't do a lot with half rectangles. Now my client's quilt, when I put the points on the quilt, I told him in advance, I was like, look, I know it looks like it's a diamond on the drawing, but I am making these into half square rectangles, or half rectangles. So they are not going to be one continuous piece. You are going to have seams in here. And he looked at me and said, okay. Swapping you guys over. Let's see. Laura says, I bought a couple of the Primitive Gatherings farmhouse flannels. I think they'll be, oh, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. I love that idea. I thought this was actually going to take until 8 o'clock, but apparently not. I'm going to show you guys. Because you decided to hang out, you guys get to see the sneak peek. This is as far as the camera goes, so don't be mad at me. Those are the letters for the quilt, the temperature quilt. Those are the paper piece letters. Chloe says that she was thinking flannels would be fabulous. I agree. I second the motion to go to flannels. Fat quarter bundle's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I've seen some of those at my local quilt shop. They're so soft. They're so soft. But yeah, so those are some of the letters. I know that the yellow is kind of hard to see. The green that you can see a little bit of, that is spring. The yellows are summer. There's actually blue that's done that you guys can't see. That's winter. And I have fall left, so I've got brown. So paper piece letters, they come in small. They do come in small. So that's why I'm offering a second alphabet, because I don't want you to feel like you have to do it this way. Because there'll be two ways in the pattern to do them. If you are looking for a Christmas wish list item to be able to do the letters in paper piecing, if you are wanting to try paper piecing the letters for the temperature quilt. If you want to try that version versus applique, because that's going to be the other option. So you can either do paper piecing, which will be tiny, or you can do applique, which won't be tiny. It won't be as labor intensive as paper piecing for the letters. This is a typical add a quarter, or this is my typical add a quarter. You can get them in pink as well. This is the one that I've had for years now, but it has the 1/4 inch lip. I do not have the add a quarter plus. I would recommend getting the add a quarter plus specifically for this project. You do not need the big one. You don't need the super long one, but I would recommend the add a quarter plus versus just an add a quarter. So if you do not have an add a quarter ruler and you're wanting to do the temperature quilt starting in January, get the add a quarter plus. Okay, so if you have the option between the two, get the plus. So the add a quarter ruler has it's a very thick lip to it. Okay, so this is the edge. I know it's so hard to see. You know what? Let's do this the simple way. Let's do this the simple way. Okay. So this is my add a quarter ruler. And it is in yellow, so it's really hard to see. I get it. Believe me, I do. So on the back, you can kind of see through the reflection here. So this frosted section that you're seeing is the regular part of the ruler. The part that looks clear through here actually has a lip on it. That is what you are putting your paper piecing up against to trim. This is what you're going to need for the majority of the quilt. Now, what the difference is between the add a quarter and the add a quarter plus. When you are looking at the end of the ruler, you have, for an add a quarter ruler, let me see if I can get the camera to focus. There we go. This edge right here is very blunt. The add a quarter plus, this lip right here is filed down to a point, kind of like a scraper, like you would use like Cricut, or actually a Cricut scraper would work for this project. You can use heavy cardstock, but with as many days as there are in a year, that cardstock is going to get worn out. You can use a very, very tiny ruler that has like or a metal ruler if you've got one that has just the filed edge to it, so you can fold paper over it. The add a quarter plus has that filed edge already on it. The add a quarter does not. So if you want to put a new add a quarter on your ruler, put the plus on your list if you don't have that. The other ruler is an add an eighth ruler. And if you can see this little lip that's sticking out, that is an 1/8 of an inch versus the 1/4 inch of the add a quarter ruler. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. I think it's focused. There we go. Okay, so it is a very thin amount of room. You do not need a very long one, okay? These are the 6-inch versions. Both of these, they're 6-inch versions. Plenty long. You do not need anything longer than this for the majority of the quilts. Katie, you're so funny. She says, honey, I'm home. So yeah, so on your shopping list for Christmas, if you're shopping at your local quilt shop, or you've got somebody who would want to buy something for you for Christmas, the add a quarter plus is actually on my shopping list. So if you guys are wanting to buy one for me, you are more than welcome to do it. Just let me know you've done it so I don't go buy one myself. But I will get mine one way or the other, even if I have to wait a couple weeks. But I recommend an add a quarter at a minimum if you are going to get a ruler for Christmas. Now you can do this. You can do this entire temperature quilt with a standard quilting ruler. That being said, with as many days as there are in a year, and you're going to be sewing enough for every day of the year, at that point, you're going to be tired of using a regular ruler. An add a quarter is going to save your skin, and it's going to save your hide from a ruler slippage. It's going to make your life a lot easier, and it's a product that you can use so many times over. And I do not have an affiliate link. I really need an affiliate link for as much as I use these things. But an add a quarter at a minimum, and if you want to do, and I would do add a quarter plus. You can. There's no reason to have both. So if you're going to add a quarter ruler to your stash, do the add a quarter plus. Okay. Again, you don't need bigger than 6 inches. So if they don't come out, if they don't give you an add a quarter that's about 6 inches, or add a quarter plus that's 6 inches or something, if you have to get the bigger one, it'll work. You just don't need it. That's all I'm saying. You don't need the extra length. You won't have to have it. Not for this anyway. And the add an eighth if you want to do paper pieced letters for your temperature quilt. That is entirely up to you if you want to do paper piece. If you're not going to do paper piece letters, you want to do applique letters, do not bother getting the add an eighth unless you just want another tool. Okay. I actually do use this a lot. And there will be instances you guys will see me probably pull this out for the regular stuff just because I can fudge a little bit. Kathy says, sorry that took so long. Had a short visit with my daughter. No worries. Katie says that her granddaughter is growing up so fast. They do. They do grow up. They grow up so stinking fast. I saw my great niece and she's 2.5, and gosh, yeah, I had no idea how fast she was growing up. It did not occur to me. So those are 2 things to add to your shopping list for Christmas. The pattern is going to run about $25. So if you do not, if you are planning to buy the temperature quilt pattern, set aside about $25. Okay. If I can make it cheaper than that, that is what I will do. But that's about what we're looking at for pricing for the temperature quilt pattern. Rayanne says that she just checked her rulers and she has both. Awesome! Yay! Awesome. Oh my gosh. Katie says that Abby's going to turn 13 on the 17th of December, and Nora turns 6 on the same day. That's funny. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. Sharing birthdays. But yeah, so if you're doing the temperature quilt, these are the rulers that if you're going to do the paper piece letters, these are the 2 rulers you're going to need. They really needed to just go ahead and add the tapered edge, but somebody wasn't thinking when they designed these, I think is what it is. Andrea says that she loves foundation paper piecing and doing it a lot. I always wondered why they did not have the tapered edge on the rulers. I have several different versions, but I probably will not add that to my ruler collection. No worries. I mean, that's perfectly fine. These are the minimum. Well, I'll put it this way. This is the minimum. If you do not have an add a quarter, this is what saves your rear as you're working through your pattern. Okay. While I am on the topic, oh, my fabric is everywhere, guys. My scrap bins that are behind me on the floor have gotten bumped into by the dog. So yeah, it's everywhere. So bear with me just a second. Let me pull these out. Okay. This is the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about real quick before we sign off for the night. Since we're talking temperature quilt, since it's up here on the wall, these are for the one that I've already got going. These are for the one that I'm going to do along with you guys in 2025. Okay. So you'll get to decide between doing 2 values or doing 4. Okay. The pattern will be written for both options. So if you want a more monochromatic quilt, let's say you want to do red for a high temperature, blue for a low temperature, and your background color, you absolutely can do that. If you want to do 4 colors, you can absolutely do that as well. It is written for both options, okay? And that's what I was saying too, Katie. I think I'd said it right before you got back on. You can use a regular ruler to do the entire quilt, but with it being a temperature quilt, and that is my caveat. This is my recommendation. If you are looking for something to put on your shopping list for someone to buy for you for Christmas, or you're looking for something to treat yourself with for Christmas, that is what the attic quarters would be fantastic for if you're planning to do my paper piece temperature quilt. By the time you are done with the quilt for the year, if you're never going to do foundation paper piecing again, then that's fine. But I will say this, it is difficult enough to do it with a regular ruler for 365 or 366 days that there's a lot of value added to an attic quarter for this project. I mean, if you can get by without it, that's fine. You absolutely can. But that was my add a minimum, what you would need to add to your shopping list. Because quilt shops are doing sales for Black Friday and for Christmas and all of that. So why not take advantage of that? That was more why I was bringing it up. So you can choose one, or you can choose between 2 and 4 values. You can't choose 3. I don't have it written for 3. There may be an additional version out by next year, by the end of 2025. Welcome in, Terry. Welcome in. We're wrapping up, but you can definitely hang out. Please hang out. And please do that thumbs up. So if you're planning to do the paper piece temperature quilt, I'm back since you're talking about FPP. So you can choose 2 values or 4 values. That is one thing you need to decide, especially if you're going to do 2025 values for your location. You need to decide if you're going to do just a high temperature and low temperature for every day, or if you are going to do a high, low, and whatever other 2 values you want to do. My 2 other values are going to be wind speed and the hours of daylight, because that is a significant adjustment from living in Alabama to living in Wyoming. It's a significant adjustment to make the hours of daylight adjustment, so I want to see that in my quilt, and so that is why I'm putting that in there. Kathy, I missed your comment, sorry. She says, love FPP too. I have an FPP project I want to start, but I want to finish other projects before I can start on it. You're probably talking about the Nutcracker. I want to see that one. I really want to see that one. Okay, so with that being said, choose how many values you're going to do, between either doing 2 values or 4. That's where I was going. The background fabric, I picked out 5 yards. I don't know that you need 5 yards. I will do some more measurements, and I will have a final measurement for your background fabric that you can kind of run with by then. If you're going to blind go to purchase, I would buy 5 yards. That way you can also bind in your background fabric color. That would give some more unity to the quilt. Okay. The colorways. So I am doing 4 colorways. So this is one of 4. I am doing blue, red, orange, and green. Okay. Those are my 4 colorways. All of my fabrics are washed and folded, but they are not pressed. So I will be pressing them kind of as we go. You do not have to pre-starch everything. And I will show you how to do it. So like, you do not have to, like if I open this one up, this is horrendously wrinkled. So do not panic. I would recommend pre-washing because by the time you spend 365 days doing this, you don't want anything to bleed. That would be heartbreaking. If you are doing 4 values, which is what I am doing, what I purchased for mine is a yard of each of my fabrics. So I am doing 7 variations. You can do 5, or you can do 7, or you can do 9. The pattern will be written so you can choose which variation you want to do. Why am I pre-washing it? I do not want it to bleed. I am using red, orange, green, and blue. And I do not want those fabrics to bleed into each other. I don't want to put a year's worth of work into a quilt and then have it bleed. So that's my panic. Let's see. Susan says she has 3 Judy Niemeyer patterns and Jason Yenter that are all FPP patterns I'll be doing this spring. Yeah, you know, why not add another one? Why not add another one? Okay. So I chose 7 values, I'm doing 7 variations. So there's actually 7 yards here. I did purchase a yard per color variation, okay? I know that sounds like a lot. Here's why on a temperature quilt you might need that. You might have days that are higher. I think green is my wind color. No, hours of daylight. So hours of daylight I could be a little bit more predictable about. But my orange is my wind speed. I could have, you know, over half the year that is in my higher range of colors. Or I could do half the year that is like my lower range. You know, I don't know how that's going to play out. So unless you are doing historical data, it's really hard to predict exactly what yardage you will need. Let me grab something real quick. Pam says that she's old school and pre-washes all the fabric. That's kind of why I do too. Andrea says color catchers work well. I do not pre-wash because I like the shrinkage to happen after I quilt. I love that old time look. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, this is going to be a double wedding ring temperature quilt, Katie. Let me grab my thing real quick that has my printout, because I have some information that will help as to why I went with the yardages I did. Let me see how buried it is, and if I have it handy. Yes, I do. Okay. So in your pattern, see, my only issue with pre-washing is the cost, $5 per load. Yeah, I understand that. I do. Now you can get 7 yards in a wash. You know, that would, I've done it. I do it all the time. So like, you know, one colorway is, you know, I'm doing a yard per. Now if you're doing 9, you can probably get by with 3/4 of a yard of each. If you're doing 5, you might want to go to 1 1/4 yards of each. It does absolutely add up. Katie says, sitting on my hand. Yeah. Okay, so you will get a chart to fill out. Okay, mine is digitally printed out because I was doing historical data. You will have a printout chart that you can fill in your data. Okay, this is not the finished version of the chart. Please do not panic on me. Okay, it is not finished. I'm going to have to start. No, I'm not going to starch. Pam says, I also do not like the chemicals they put in fabric. Yeah, I don't either. So, I mean, it could be personal preference. All right, so in the fabrics that I've used, the least amount of fabric that I had of anything was half a yard. And for one of my colors, after I started separating things out, I realized that I did not have enough fabric of that color. And there's no way for me to rebuy the fabrics that I'm using in the sample quilt that you guys are going to see. So I ended up having to swap 2 fabrics because one fabric had more than the other. So my color will not grade the correct way. And I'm bummed about it, but there's nothing I can do because I didn't have the fabric. Andrea says, we do not have 4 seasons here. It is either hot and humid or cooler and humid. We rarely freeze here, and I've seen snow here twice since 2008. Okay, so here's the thing. My sample quilt that you guys are going to get to see, that I'm trying to finish up, there's a lot of variation in it. It's not as varied as this cold climate will be. So Casper is definitely going to have a bigger variation than what my sample quilt is going to show. My historical data is from 1963 and 1964 in Birmingham, Alabama. Their highest temperature reported during that entire 12-month period was 97 degrees, and their lowest is 27. Their lowest low temp for the day was 12, and their highest low temp for the day was 79. So on a 97 degree day, it's still only the low temp only got up to 79 degrees. So within that range, you can make that gradation as distinct as you want it to be, or you can have it be more subtle, and it's entirely up to you. The wind speed in Alabama in the Birmingham area in that time frame was either between 6 miles an hour to 33 miles an hour, which is nothing compared to here. I mean, we're getting 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts today. So, that the wind speeds in Birmingham are significantly different than the wind speeds here, but that's enough of a variation that you're going to see some differences. And same thing with the difference between the high and low. That was my other value for Birmingham, is I did a high temperature, the low temperature, the difference between those, and the wind speed. So the difference between those was just simple math, subtraction. So my lowest difference between the temperatures for the day was 2 degrees. So, like, let's say it was 49 at night and it was 51 during the day. That's 2 degrees difference. And then my highest difference between the day was 41 degrees. Yes, it could be, Andrea. And one thing that some people do when they're doing these kinds of values, I agree, Susan. I agree, Chloe. Susan says that her temperature quilt is using hexagons, doing an EPP. Yeah, I would love to see it too. I don't have the patience for that, but I do have the patience for this. So another thing that you could do is either the rainfall for the day. You could also do the humidity for the day, the highest humidity percentage for the day. You could do barometric pressure. That is another value that I consider doing for here in Casper, was barometric pressure. You can do a simple value of, do they say that it's going to be partly cloudy, partly sunny, completely sunny, rain, snow, ice, you can do something like that as well as a value for one of your values. So that could be an option as well. Susan says that she also chose the year she was born for the temps, doing highs and lows with a 10-degree increments. That's fantastic. So my high and lows were like 9 degrees variation. My low temperatures were 8 degrees variation. My wind speed was 3 miles. And my difference between the two was it was about 5 different points as the increments. Yeah, right, Katie? She says, for the first time in 4 years, our lake has ice on the top of it earlier than the last 4 years, but we'll see if that holds or not. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. So with the temperature quilt, you're going to see, I'm doing 2024 values for Casper in my temperature quilt, but I'm going to do it in 2025 as though they were the temperature values for the day, or the values for that day. So I'm going to be able to see kind of a difference between this year and next year as I'm going through the year. but I needed to be able to get a sample out to you guys. So you guys can see, I'm not trying to show you everything, but you guys can kind of see the variation. And, you can make it as distinctly different as you want to or not. My sample quilt is going to be all scraps. It's all from my stash. Everything that I already owned is what is going into that. The one that I had only 16 inches by width of fabric was one of my higher range values that I knew I wasn't going to see a lot of. And then for some of the values, I had 1.5 yards. I had 2 yards. So one thing that I am also going to do is, once I verify that I've got everything done the way that it needs to be done, I'm going to go back and measure how much fabric I have left, so you guys will know how much fabric I actually used out of each of those. So you might not need a full yard of each, but the challenge is, if you run out, are you going to be able to restock that fabric? Oh, that's awesome. Susan says each week we'll have 2 flowers, so I'll have 104 flowers in the quilt. Yes, it absolutely could be, Andrea. She says air quality and humidity could be a factor to use where she is. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when you come to your labeling, because you can do, the letters in paper piecing, or you can do them otherwise, you will need an accent color to put at the juncture point between all of your temperature values. So even though I have all 4 of my colors, my orange, red, and blue are back there, and then I have my black that's my background, I'm going to need to fill in with another color, but I don't know how much yardage I need for that yet. So that's kind of why I needed to get it written, so you guys could get that value in, and have that to hold dear. And that's why I want to get it to you if I can before Christmas. But if worst case scenario, I'm writing it that week between Christmas and New Year's to get it out to you guys. Chloe says, I can't wait to see this quilt. I know. Me too. Me too. I've laid it out. I laid out half of the quilt, and there's going to be some surprises. There's going to be some things that you can do differently in your quilt than what I chose to do with mine. And there's going to be some things, there's going to be choose your options. It's going to be one of those choose your option kind of book things. Are they all solids, or can we use prints? Oh, absolutely use prints. Absolutely. Everything I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I used 11 solids out of 28 out of 28 fabrics in the sample quilt. And this is, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see because it kind of reads solid. I do recommend, choosing something that goes well with what you would like to see. So, I do like a solid print for my colorway, or solid reading. So from a distance, this looks like a light green, but up close, you can see that print. Barbara says, I crocheted a temp afghan. It was beautiful. I did 1 row each night using the temp at 5 p.m. That's awesome, Barbara. We've had the discussion about crochet before. I can't do it. So you have my applause. I cannot crochet. I've tried. Believe me, I've tried. But yeah, so if you're going to get some stuff onto your Christmas list, if you are looking for things, you're needing ideas, if you're wanting to do a double wedding ring quilt as a temperature quilt in 2025, the pattern will be ready in time. So the recommendation was an add a quarter, possibly an add a quarter plus if you can get that instead. And then an add an eighth if you want to do paper piece letters. If not, don't worry about it. You don't need the add an eighth unless you're doing the paper piece letters. for your months. And then choose fabric. Choose fabric. That way you have plenty to pull from. And I will be showing right after the New Year's Day live. There's going to be a couple of different videos I'm going to be releasing about what I recommend you do if you are doing the temperature quilt, the double wedding ring temperature quilt that I'm going to release the pattern for. Again, the pattern will probably be about $25. So just put that money aside if you are looking to buy the pattern. It may not be the full $25. Please do not quote me on that, but put that money aside so that you have that in case that is the price I have to go with. Okay. So I'm trying to see where I'm at with it. You will need, if you like to do, when will the pattern be available to purchase? Between Christmas and New Year's Day. So that last week of 2024 is when it will become available to purchase. Andrea says she did a crochet temperature quilt as well. Did mini granny squares for each. Oh my gosh. You guys are crazy. Doing all that yarn work. No. I'm glad you guys can do that. You have my applause. You have my respect. But no, I can't. I can't. Okay, can't, never could. But I've tried. I so have tried. But yes, so I will have it out one way or the other before New Year's Day. Okay. So I will be ramping up the moment that I have things lined up. I will put a countdown clock somewhere so you guys can check and see how long until the pattern is released. Okay. So that will be coming up, and it is guaranteed it will be out before January 1st. But if you want to get things in line and get things in order so you don't fall behind stitching it, that's why I'm issuing the PSAs about what you might want to get in advance. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The only other thing, if you have done paper piecing in the past, and you are comfortable doing paper piecing, you have a couple of options about how you want to do this. You can get the foundation paper pages or whatever that you can run through your printer and print all those pages, because there's going to be a lot. That's the nature of the beast with paper piecing. There will be a lot. Okay. You can either purchase the foundation paper piecing pages. You can do what I did. I printed it on regular copy paper. I did not bother with going fancy on my paper. If you have access to newsprint and you want to print it on newsprint, you absolutely can do that. If you want to trace it onto whatever paper you have, whether that's newsprint or whatever, you can do that as well. Okay, so there will be options for how you do that papering. You can do freezer paper. If you have ever done freezer paper, paper piecing, you can do that. There will be pieces included in the pattern that you can print, so you can mark everything, so that if you were choosing to do yours through freezer paper, which is not the method I will be using, but if you choose to do yours through freezer paper, there will be markers for you to print out and use to clip to your pieces, so you don't get them mixed up, because you're not putting things together until you're done with many days. So, you can do freezer paper if you want to do that as well. Yes, and that is the freezer paper kind of method. Andrea had said, I just took a class on foundation paper piecing where you do not sew on the paper, so you can reuse the pattern over and over. That is the equivalent of freezer paper piecing. And it's a fantastic way to do that. It's a fantastic way to do everything. And I am going to include the marker pieces. You will want to print those if you're going to do that method, so that you can mark your pieces and you don't forget, okay, what days were these? Because you want that kind of, you'll need that kind of reference. Susan says, Weather Underground is where I got my data. I think that's where I got some of mine too. Don't quote me. I still have to go finish getting Casper's data for this year. I can't even start next year's yet until I get this year's data. But yeah, so there are, I have thought of that as an option because I know it can seem wasteful if you are putting a lot of paper into a project and then you're pulling the paper out and it's single use. If you're not the type of person to recycle paper, or it's not an option where you are, or you don't want to use it into a burn pile, there's options, okay? There are options, and I have thought of that. So that will be included in the pattern, and that is part of the reason for the pricing of the pattern. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Okay, I have got to get off of here, you guys. I need to go get some food and go get some more caffeine. I have more letters to do. I got 9 more letters to do. And then I still have to pack for tomorrow. So I'm going to get off of here. Thank you so much for being here. If you did not catch from the beginning, you probably will want to go back and recatch the beginning. And then if you came in super into the temperature quilt discussion, you may want to rewind at least to catch the beginning of that discussion so that you don't miss anything out. Chloe says, so much work, Tim. Yes, but I'm making it simple for you guys. Okay, that's my goal. I'm doing the hard stuff so you guys don't have to do the hard stuff. All you guys got to do is fill in the blanks and follow along. Andrea says, I have my DP but not food yet. I need to go get food. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. This has been a long Tuesday evening, but so wonderful. I'm glad you guys were here. I really do appreciate every last one of you. If you have not hit a thumbs up or thumbs down, please do that. Let YouTube know that you enjoy my content here. If you are watching this after the live, if you are watching replay, leave me a comment. Let me know you were here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Absolutely, I am here for you guys. Please do that. I will see you all Thursday night. Kathy will be here with My Hobby Home for Land That I Love. You guys stay safe until Thursday night when we see you.